What's going on YouTube? Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and I am so excited to talk about this guy today. Brand new, fresh out of the box. This is the Spyderco Kapara. Absolutely beautiful knife. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. And like I said in the intro, super excited to show you guys this knife today. It's one I've been looking at for a while and just picked up, so this won't be really a review because I haven't used it hardly at all, but it'll be an overview and what I know about the knife. This is the Spyderco Kapara, and it is so gorgeous. This is an Alistair Phillips design that he collaborated with Spyderco to make this knife. This is a kind of a reproduction, or not a reproduction, but a production version of his custom knife, which is the redback, and the Kapara means redback spider, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Alistair Phillips, he's an Australian guy, and he designed this knife for food prep. And we'll go over some things about what makes this knife good for food prep in a little bit, but it is just so gorgeous. Look at these carbon fiber scales. They are contoured. And I really like this. Just looks like unlike, I should say, any of the other carbon fiber that I have seen. It's not uniform. Really, it just kind of just pops. I really like it. Has the red backspacer there that you can see. Like I said, after the red back spider, which is part of Alistair Phillips' original design. I think his custom knife comes with a red backspacer that's a lot brighter than this, but I really like it. Really well made. This one is produced in the Taichung, Taiwan. See if we can actually get that to focus. Which is, of course, an excellent manufacturing facility. A lot of the best things that Spyderco has does come out of that facility. Of course, I love made in America stuff, but I have a couple of Spydercos that were made in in Taichung, and I'm super happy with them. Fit and finish is almost always excellent, and this thing came straight out of the box, just buttery smooth, and the compression lock, you can see, just falls shut. So the action is great. Comes with Spyderco's wire pocket clip, which I really like. I really think it's the best pocket clip. It's not the most attractive thing in the world, but it functions really great. Like I said before, failed at that one. Mr. Phillips designed this for a food prep knife. And as you can see, for the shape of the blade, it's going to do really well for that. I can't wait to put this thing to use for that. And one of the reasons that, as you notice, the glare out of there is no jimping. Down here, there is no jimping anywhere. And there's a reason for that, because he thought, and for good reason, that if there's jimping, it's just a space for food or whatever you're cutting on to kind of get captured in there, and he wanted it to be a clean cut and a clean knife, easily too clean, and which is great. I really appreciate that in the knife design. You can see this kind of a thin circled I guess contour where it slides down here. It really is, even for my big hands for a thin knife, the contour on the carbon fiber scales really fits my hand well. I really like it. It's a great grip like this. Of course, you can choke up on it just a little bit. Have your if you're food prepping, you almost are going to be chopping like this, or use a pinch cut to chop some things up. As you can see, that the blade actually is lower than the handle. So when you've got this on a surface and you are cutting, you can get all the way down to the surface that you're cutting on, which is excellent if you're going to be doing food prep. This thing is not a small knife, which of course, guys, I like big knives. So it's not a small knife, but by design, you want a good sized knife to do your food prep with. This one has a blade length of 3.6 inches, and the cutting edge is about 3.44. So let's get a good amount of cutting edge. The overall length is 8 inches and a quarter. And then it's about 1 inch wide, and the blade thickness is only about 110 thousandths. I did measure this one behind the edge, and it's about 18 thousandths behind the edge. So it is super slicey, and of course I really, really like that. Let's go ahead and compare it to a couple of things I have on hand here. Here it is against the Manix 2. You can see that the overall length, you know, they're pretty similar. This, of course, is a thinner profile. And then, of course, you have the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And you can see that, you know, these are about the same size, just a slimmer profile on the Kapara. Let's go ahead and see it against the Ontario Rat 1, which is the big boy, and then the Ontario Rat 2. So this should give you a good idea on what size this blade is. It's a great size, great carry in the pocket, especially with that wire pocket clip. I really like it. The carbon fiber scales are smooth. It doesn't really have any texture to them at all, so they are smooth. But I don't mind. On a work knife, I like to have a good grippy surface on it. Of course, the the Manix 2 is a work knife, but I ended up putting carbon fiber scales on here just because I could. And I've got a Manix 2 lightweight with the FRN scales. And then of course, like on my PM2, it is G10 and it's grippy and it works great for a work knife. Same thing on like the PM3 and all the other work knives that I have. The only different one is the Shaman, which I do consider to be a work knife, but it is textured G10. But here's my point. The texturing on the scales does help with the grip, but in my personal experience, the texturing on the scales doesn't do a whole lot. It's all about the ergonomics and having this thing being able to just lock in the hand. And it does. It does on this knife, on the Shaman, and on the Manix 2. It just molds in the hand, and it's not going anywhere. Nobody can peel this away from me if they tried. So I'm not as concerned about that. It does have this really cool, which is a Torx, but it has a really cool pivot there, which is kind of different for Spyderco. Just a beautiful knife. God, I just really, really like it. With the carbon fiber, it's pretty lightweight. Let's go ahead and get a weight on this guy. Hit the right button. .35 ounces. For a knife that's, 8¼ inches long, I think it's great. You guys know me, I'm not a huge, I don't really count my ounces like some people do. But, take that weight as it is. This is the only thing that I would change about this knife. I love the blade shape. I love the handles. I love the pocket clip. Everything about this knife is great. And even the steel is great. This one comes in at, let's see, where's it at? It's on this side. At S30V, you can see it there. Still got a bunch of oil on it from where you take it out of the packages. But, so S30V, very good steel. Just like you saw on my other video, I'm going to bust out the Blade HQ steel guide. And CPM S30V, as you can tell, is a great all-around steel, especially for everyday carry. You're about midway for the edge sharpening, or the ease of sharpening, excuse me. You get really good edge retention. You got relatively good corrosion resistance, and the toughness is also on the median scale. So not bad. I don't mind it. But here's what I would have liked. I would have liked this knife to have a version come out in H1 steel, because it is for food prep. H1 steel is a highly corrosion resistant steel. And I think I would have just liked that. If they had offered this in H1, I would have picked it up probably a lot longer than, or a lot earlier than I did. But totally don't regret buying this guy. This is totally going to be in my permanent collection. Can't wait to carry this thing around, test it out. I did show it to some guys at work today. Like I said, I had it delivered to my work and didn't really get to use it a whole lot. So I'm looking forward to using it, but everybody that I showed it to were very impressed, and I know it's because of just how beautiful it is. The carbon fiber scales are just excellent. You really need to get one of these things in your hand. If you're a Spyderco fan, you're very used to compression lock, and the compression lock is just one of my favorites. Such a fidgety locking system, and as you can tell when I'm flicking this thing, once you get it in hand and you start flicking it, you're doing fine. I can't hardly do it behind this camera, but you will notice that the Spidey hole is just a little bit smaller and further pushed in than something like the PM2, as you can see. So the PM2 is much easier to Spidey flick than the Kapara, but of course it is still very easy to do once you get the hang of it. But just a little bit, just kind of be aware, this is definitely going to be more flickable than this little guy. But anyway, that's about it. This is just an overview, kind of a first look, first impressions of this knife, and I love it. It is awesome. Can't wait to use it. Can't wait to prepare some food with this thing. And you guys have any questions about this particular knife, hit me up in the comments. If you would like to see me do another knife that I haven't done, hit me up and let me know. I have access to a bunch of knives. I still have a bunch of knives that I'm going to get to the review. Also have an EDC subscription box that should be here hopefully by the end of the week, maybe next week. So stay tuned for that. We will go through that box together. And anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this kind of content, consider hitting that subscribe button. And we will see you on the next one.